Hey, welcome back to another update of my Canadian dividend investing portfolio. So it's been a little while, but I'm back at it again with another update. And I just want to run through the performance of my account, talk about some of the stocks that I own and some of the stocks that I recently bought, and maybe just run through my sector breakdowns and holdings and stuff like that so you can get a good idea of what it's like to be me, I guess, as just kind of a random guy that's buying and selling stocks in Canada. So I'm using Wealthsimple Trade to buy all of the stocks, and I'm tracking everything with this custom Google Sheet that I made, which, by the way, there's a link in the description below if you'd like to try it out. So I started pretty much a year ago. I'm closing in really shortly here on almost exactly 365 days, and in that time, I've got my stock value and my portfolio up to $53,100. But I only put in 49,500, and there's a little bit of cash in here as well. But basically, the account total is up just over $4,000, which is awesome because I haven't crossed this until now. Previously, it was sitting in the 3,000s, and I haven't done too much. And just the value of the stocks and some dividends and things have come in, and it's just slowly climbing. And I'm pretty happy to see this number over 4,000. So that represents about 8.25% total gain since I started, and that doesn't mean that I invested $49,000, dollars 365 days ago, and then just got 8.5% per year. Actually, most of the money I was kind of averaging it in over time, and most of it I put in around June. Actually, I put in about half then, so I think I'm doing all right. Now, this is a combination of the actual stock price increase for the stocks that I own and also the dividends that I've been paid. So I have been paid in total about almost $600 in dividends, and so then the other $3,400 that you see in here, a lot of this is unrealized. Not all of it. Some of it is unrealized. It's a kind of a mixture. It's a difference between my current amount in my portfolio and how much I put in. So some of it's unrealized in the stock price, and others is actually realized in the cash payouts. Sorry, the dividend payouts, which are right here. So, anyways, most of the stocks that I hold do pay a dividend. They average at about 3.8%. I try to keep this historically around 4%, and it's slowly starting to drop, but that makes sense because I'm kind of lately have been investing into more growth-oriented stocks or dividend growth stocks, and not chasing the high dividend yields so much. But either way, we're looking at about $2,032 per year in annual passive income from these dividends. So that's great. That's just money that I get paid from holding the shares, whether the share price goes up or down. That's money that I can expect, with pretty good confidence to get. Works out to about $169 a month. But obviously it doesn't come in, it's not constant. Some of the payments are quarterly, some of them are monthly. It's kind of all over the place, but this is basically just my average. So we can see here in the sector pie chart, I'm primarily invested in real estate, followed by utilities, and then a couple other different sectors in here. And we'll actually get a better view of this in the next page, but you can see that I'm trying to keep it relatively even. You can see most of the big positions here are actually real estate companies, and that really factors into why I have so much real estate here. But again, down at the bottom, we have our monthly dividend payments received, and I think it's actually the 31st, so tonight I should probably be expecting a couple more, which this number will jump up, but who knows? We'll see that when it comes. So looking in at the portfolio, we can get a pretty good idea of what's going on in here. And these are all of the shares that I own. So I have 31 different companies in here, I think. Yeah, it's 31. And I have them organized right now for the biggest percent of holdings at the top. And then as we go down, it descends. So these are my biggest investments, and then down here at the bottom, these are my smallest investments. So what I've been trying to do lately this week is really build up my positions in these smaller companies, or build up my positions so that these percentages start to grow and they kind of balance out some of these really big holdings that I have. So when I was looking to buy shares this week, I did pick up some Bank of Montreal, some Hydro One, some Great-West Life, because they're all really far down here. I'm not interested at the moment in buying Intergex, DCM, or Cineplex. I'm kind of losing money on these guys at the moment, and so I'm just going to forget about those. Sometimes I could consider averaging more in by spending more money on stocks that are down, but I don't feel like doing that with these ones. And actually, some of these companies like BMO and Great-West Life and stuff, they're up quite high, but I just wanted to add more into those positions. So that'll really water down my percent unrealized gain, but that's okay with me. These are companies that I would be pretty interested in continuing to hold into the future, and the fact that I got some shares in here at a very cheap price is a good deal for me. I did have a little bit of money left over when I was buying the stocks, and so I did drop some into TD because they just had a good buying opportunity. Like it just dipped down a little bit in the day yesterday, so I wanted to buy that. And also, I had been looking at TransAlta Renewables. I had like $20 left in my account, and so I think I just bought one share of these guys. So let's actually go into Wealthsimple Trade and take a look, and maybe just taking a quick look in here at the buys that I did. So like I said, oh no, that was a dividend. I bought one single share of BMO yesterday. I bought a couple of shares here, 4 of Hydro 1, 1 of TD, a couple of Great West Life, and then, like I said, the last little bit there, I had 1 left over for TransAlta Renewables. And yeah, if we're in, I guess, looking at the portfolio here, then we can see a lot of the same numbers here, basically up 8% over time. And at the end of the video, I'm going actually, in like just 1 second, I'm going to add in these transactions that we just did into the spreadsheet, and then these numbers will match exactly. Just a slightly different way to kind of visualize things. I like using a spreadsheet as well, and not just Wealthsimple Trade website. So what I do is I actually come in here, I take the activity stuff, and I write all of this down. And I'm going to transfer it all exactly into Google Sheets on my transactions tab. And this is just a master list of all of the transactions that I've ever done. So we'll just scroll right down to the bottom here and drop in exactly what we saw in Wealthsimple Trade. And once I type all of that in, I do double check that the totals, especially in the case where there's more than one single share being bought, actually match what I have in Wealthsimple Trade. But once I'm satisfied with that, I do drop back into the summary page. And I check mostly in here, I'm looking for the annual dividend income. So at the beginning of the video, it was $2,032. And now, after I've logged the sale, the buy of these new stocks, we're looking at about $2,050. So that's an increase of about $18 per year, which might not sound like a lot of money, but it's totally passive, totally tax-free, because this is my tax-free savings account, and growing. So every time I make a deposit and buy new stocks, this grows, and generally over time, as the companies decide to increase their dividends, this grows, and as I get dividends and reinvest it into new stocks, it grows again. So this is kind of what is referred to as the dividend snowball effect, and over time, many years or decades or something, this starts really growing and growing and growing and becomes very significant to the point where you can live off of it. So that's kind of the point with this. I think for now, my investments here, I'm hoping to not touch until retirement. Of course, if something happens along the way and I need the money, then I'll use it. But yeah, that's kind of it. So I'm just looking to build up this stream of passive income, as well as this kind of base or principal that's also growing. And generally, as the principal grows with dividend paying stocks, as long as there's some amount of dividend growth, then they're going to start increasing their payments, which will maintain your yield, which will ultimately increase your annual payments. So anyways, guys, if you followed all of that and you like this video, thanks a lot for watching, and make sure you drop a comment down in the section below. I make sure to reply to everyone, and it's always cool to see kind of what you guys are up to. So yeah, if you're buying dividend paying stocks, or any stocks for that matter, maybe just drop down something that you're purchasing this week or you're watching, and I'd be really curious to know as well. So guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the comments.